Welcome to Ancient Spiritual Knowledge. I'm your host, Paige Carter. In the hushed silence of ancient monasteries, where the air is thick with the weight of centuries, the knowledge of Ascension was nurtured and guarded. This knowledge, an esoteric tapestry woven from threads of cosmic understanding, was not meant for the uninitiated. It was a sacred trust, a hidden truth, born from the heavens and granted to those who dared to look beyond the mortal coil. These ancient masters of Ascension understood what modern minds struggle to grasp, that we are more than just flesh and bone. They believed we were celestial beings, trapped in physical forms, destined to ascend back to the stars from whence we came. This was the art of Ascension, a journey of transcendence, a pilgrimage to realms beyond the veil of the perceivable universe. The wisdom of Ascension was never meant to be a secret, but a sacred truth shared only within hallowed halls and whispered in the ears of the chosen. Etched in stone and inked on papyrus, it has been passed down through generations, surviving the ravages of time and the erosion of collective memory. The practices associated with Ascension were not merely rituals or rites, but an embodiment of a deeper understanding of the universe. They were a profound exploration of the soul's capacity for growth and transformation, a testament to our inherent ability to rise above our earthly limitations. These practices offered glimpses of other realms, celestial dimensions that exist parallel to our own, waiting to be discovered. The ancients spoke of a celestial ladder, a spiritual pathway that connected the earth to the stars. Climbing this ladder was not a literal ascent, but a metaphorical one. It required a purification of the soul, the shedding of earthly desires, and the awakening of inner knowledge. It was a journey that demanded courage, perseverance, and unwavering faith. And so, in the muted glow of candlelight, under the watchful gaze of celestial bodies painted on monastery walls, these ancient masters would begin their ascension. With each step on the celestial ladder, they would shed a layer of their mortal self, unraveling the complexity of their existence until they were but pure energy, pulsating with the rhythm of the cosmos. The art of Ascension was not a quest for immortality, but for understanding. It was a recognition of our celestial origins and a yearning for reconnection. It was an acceptance of our place in the cosmic dance, a dance that continues to unfold, guided by the eternal rhythm of the universe. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of the celestial realms and the ancient art of Ascension, we are not just exploring a forgotten past. We are journeying into the very core of our existence, seeking answers to questions that have haunted us since the dawn of time. And perhaps, in the process, we might awaken the celestial being that slumbers within us, ready for its ascendancy. The origins of the ancient art of Ascension can be traced back to the early civilizations that graced our planet. These cultures, despite being geographically separated and culturally diverse, all seem to share a common understanding of Ascension's transformative potential. In Egypt, for instance, the concept of Ascension was deeply ingrained in their spiritual practices. The Egyptian Book of the Dead, a collection of spells and rituals, provides detailed instructions for the soul's journey through the afterlife, leading to the ultimate ascension. The pharaohs, considered divine beings, were thought to ascend to the heavens upon death, returning to their celestial origins. Similarly, the ancient Hindu scriptures, the Upanishads, speak of a path of light that leads to the realm of Brahma, the creator of the universe. This path, reserved for those who have attained self-realization, is believed to lead to liberation, or moksha, the ascension of the soul beyond the cycle of birth and death. In the mystical traditions of Kabbalah, the Tree of Life serves as a symbolic representation of the spiritual journey towards divine union. Each Sephiroth, or emanation, on the tree represents a step on the path of ascension, leading to the understanding of the divine essence of the universe. The ancient Greeks, too, had their version of this spiritual journey. The myth of Icarus, despite its tragic end, symbolizes the human desire for ascension, the longing to break free from earthly confines. These ancient cultures, though separated by vast oceans and towering mountains, all recognized the soul's potential for ascension. They understood that this journey was not a physical one, but a spiritual voyage that required inner transformation. The concept of ascension, then, is not a modern invention, nor is it confined to a single culture or tradition. It is a universal idea, deeply rooted in our collective consciousness. It speaks to our inherent desire to transcend our mortal limitations, to reach for the stars, and to uncover the celestial dimensions that exist parallel to our own. As we journey further into the mysteries of the celestial realms, we carry with us this ancient wisdom. It guides us, illuminates our path, and reminds us that the journey of ascension is not a solitary endeavor, but a shared human experience. Through it, we are given the opportunity to glimpse the universe not as separate entities, but as interconnected parts of a vast cosmic dance, a dance that has been unfolding since the dawn of time. At the heart of the ancient art of ascension is the belief that reality is not confined to the physical world we perceive with our senses. Instead, it extends into a multitude of unseen dimensions, teeming with celestial entities and divine energies. These realms, though invisible to the human eye, are believed to be as real and tangible as the world we inhabit. The ancients conceived of these dimensions as layers of existence, each more subtle and profound than the last. They envisioned a cosmic ladder, or a divine hierarchy, with each rung representing a higher level of spiritual and metaphysical reality. Ascension, then, is the process of climbing this ladder, of transcending the limitations of our material existence to experience these higher realms of consciousness. Central to this belief is the concept of the soul, an immortal divine spark within each individual. This soul, according to ancient teachings, is not of this world. It is a celestial entity, temporarily housed in a mortal shell, destined to return to its divine origin. The art of ascension is, therefore, a journey of the soul, a return to the source, an awakening to its true celestial nature. The symbols used in various traditions to represent this process are as diverse as the cultures themselves. Yet, they all point towards the same basic truth: the existence of a divine, celestial realm, and the potential of the human soul to reach it. Consider the ancient Egyptian Djed pillar, a symbol of stability and endurance, representing the backbone of the god Osiris. The Djed was often depicted in a raised position, symbolizing the resurrection of Osiris and the pharaoh's ascension to the heavens. Or the Hindu lotus, a symbol of spiritual awakening and divine birth, its roots anchored in the earth, its petals reaching towards the heavens, mirroring the soul's journey from the physical to the celestial. Guiding these beliefs is the principle of unity, the idea that all of existence is interconnected. The divine, the human, and the cosmos are not separate entities, but aspects of a single, unified reality. This principle is beautifully encapsulated in the ancient Hermetic aphorism, "As above, so below," suggesting that the microcosm of human experience reflects the macrocosm of the divine cosmos. These teachings offer a profound perspective on reality, the divine, and the human soul. They challenge our conventional understanding of the world, inviting us to consider the possibility of celestial realms beyond our sensory perception. Through the ancient art of ascension, we are offered a glimpse into these hidden dimensions, a chance to explore the mysteries of existence, and an opportunity to awaken to our true celestial nature. The wisdom of the celestial realms was not merely theoretical. It was a lived experience, a transformative journey, often facilitated through rituals, practices, and initiations. These ancient rites served as a bridge between the earthly and the divine, the physical and the spiritual, the human and the celestial. Rituals were central to the practice of ascension, embodying the wisdom of the celestial realms in symbolic acts. From the ritualistic construction of sacred geometric structures like the pyramids of Egypt and the ziggurats of Mesopotamia, to the ceremonial dance forms of the Sufi whirling dervishes, each ritual had a specific purpose: to harmonize the individual with the cosmic forces, to awaken the divine spark within, and to facilitate the soul's ascent to the celestial realms. Practice, on the other hand, referred to the consistent application of spiritual disciplines. Meditation was one such practice. Rooted in stillness and silence, it served as a tool for self-transcendence, a vessel to navigate the inner realms of consciousness. The ancient yogis of India, for instance, employed a variety of meditation techniques, including breath control and mantra repetition, to quiet the mind, awaken the kundalini energy, and experience states of divine union. Chanting, another common practice, utilized the power of sound to attune to the celestial frequencies. This could range from the repetitive utterance of sacred syllables, like the Buddhist Om Mani Padme Hum, or the Hindu Aum, to the rhythmic recitations of mystical poetry, as seen in the Sufi tradition. The vibrations generated by these chants were believed to resonate with the cosmic energy, leading to states of heightened awareness and spiritual illumination. Initiation, the third element, was a critical rite of passage, marking the transition from one spiritual state to another. These rites were often shrouded in secrecy, accessible only to those prepared to undertake the spiritual journey. The initiations of the ancient mystery schools, for example, involved symbolic death and rebirth, representing the aspirant's detachment from the material world and rebirth into the realm of the spirit. Each of these acts, ritual, practice, and initiation, served a transformative purpose. They were gateways to the celestial realms, tools for spiritual awakening, and catalysts for the soul's ascension. As the ancients understood, the journey to the celestial realms was not a passive process. It required active participation, a willingness to engage with the mysteries of the cosmos, and a commitment to the transformative path of ascension. The wisdom of the celestial realms was not just something to be known, but something to be lived, embodied, and experienced in the depths of one's being. The ancient wisdom keepers encoded their understanding of the celestial realms in various forms, concealing profound truths behind layers of symbolism and metaphor. Sacred texts, architectural marvels, and mythological narratives served not only as repositories of wisdom, but also as maps guiding the initiated towards the path of ascension. The sacred scriptures of various traditions, from the Vedic hymns of India to the Egyptian pyramid texts and the Kabbalistic Zohar, often spoke in mystical language. Their verses were enigmatic, laden with metaphors and allegories that pointed to the celestial realms and the process of ascension. For instance, the biblical Jacob's Ladder, a dream of a stairway reaching heaven, could be interpreted as an allegory for the soul's ascension, each rung representing a stage in the spiritual journey. Similarly, the architecture of ancient civilizations, particularly sacred temples and structures, held hidden meanings. The Great Pyramid of Giza, for example, was more than an architectural marvel. It was a testament to the ancient Egyptians' understanding of celestial geometry. Its precise alignment with the stars of Orion's belt, among other astronomical correlations, suggested a deep connection with the cosmos. Some esoteric interpretations even propose that the pyramid's internal chambers represent stages of consciousness, a physical manifestation of the path to ascension. In mythology, too, the celestial realms were often depicted using rich symbolism. The Norse Yggdrasil, a cosmic tree connecting various realms, encapsulates the concept of an interconnected universe. Its uppermost branches reached the heavens, perhaps alluding to the potential of spiritual ascension. In the Greek pantheon, the god Hermes, known for his ability to move freely between mortal and divine realms, could be seen as a symbol of ascension. His caduceus, a staff entwined with two serpents, closely resembles the kundalini in Eastern spiritual traditions, a cosmic energy believed to ascend from the base of the spine to the crown of the head, symbolizing spiritual awakening. These examples offer a glimpse into the profound wisdom encoded in our ancestral heritage. The ancients understood the celestial realms not as distant, abstract spaces, but as integral parts of our reality. Their sacred texts, architecture, and mythology served as guides, leading the way towards spiritual ascension. The journey, however, is not simply about reaching a destination. It is about transformation, about shedding old layers of being to emerge anew, reborn in the wisdom of the celestial realms. It is a path of unfolding, a journey into the depths of our own being, where the celestial and the earthly meet, the sacred dance of ascension. Across cultures and epochs, seekers have attempted to reach the celestial realms through varied paths. The common thread among many of these experiences is the altered state of consciousness, a mystical or transcendental experience that offers glimpses of enlightenment, divine communion, or transcendence. In the ancient Indian tradition, ascetics and yogis practiced meditation, rigorous disciplines, and austerities to achieve samadhi, a state of intense concentration and union with the divine. This state, often described as a merging of the individual self with the cosmic consciousness, was seen as the ultimate goal of human existence, the final liberation from the cycle of birth and death. It was a state of supreme bliss, of being one with the universe, of ascension into the celestial realms. Similarly, the Sufis of the Islamic tradition sought divine communion through the practice of dhikr. This involved the rhythmic repetition of God's names or phrases from the Quran, often accompanied by music and dance. The goal was to lose oneself in the remembrance of God, to dissolve the boundaries of the ego and merge with the divine. The ecstasy and rapture experienced during these rituals were seen as a taste of the celestial, a fleeting glimpse into the realm of the divine. In the Christian tradition, mystics like Saint Teresa of Avila and Saint John of the Cross described their experiences of divine union in vivid detail. Saint Teresa, in her autobiography, recounts moments of rapture where she felt her soul being lifted into the heavens, experiencing an ineffable union with God. These moments were often accompanied by visions, ecstasy, and a profound sense of peace. In the shamanic traditions of indigenous cultures, altered states were induced through the use of entheogenic substances or trance-inducing rituals. These experiences often involved journeys to the upper world, a celestial realm inhabited by spirits and deities. The shaman, in their altered state, would interact with these entities, seeking wisdom, healing, or prophecy. These mystical experiences, diverse as they are, share a common theme: the dissolution of the self, a merging with something greater, a transcendental encounter that transcends the ordinary limits of human existence. They represent a form of ascension, an elevation of consciousness that brings the seeker closer to the celestial realms. The path to such experiences is arduous, requiring discipline, devotion, and often a willingness to transcend conventional notions of self and reality. But for those who embark on this journey, the rewards are profound. A glimpse into the divine, a taste of the celestial, a step closer to the mystery of ascension. Ironically, the profound experiences of ascension described by mystics, shamans, and spiritual seekers across centuries and cultures were often met with suppression, misunderstanding, and even persecution. In many instances, the mystical traditions that cultivated these experiences were forced to go underground, their teachings and practices kept secret, hidden away from prying eyes and oppressive powers. In the Christian context, for example, mystics like Meister Eckhart faced condemnation from the Church for their unorthodox teachings. Eckhart's concept of the Godhead, an impersonal, undifferentiated absolute that transcends the personal God of Christianity, was deemed heretical. Despite the ecclesiastical censure, Eckhart's works survived, influencing later mystics and philosophers, and continue to inspire seekers of mystical union. Similarly, the Sufi tradition, despite its deep roots in Islamic spirituality, often faced opposition from more orthodox elements within the Muslim community. The ecstatic rituals of dhikr, the emphasis on personal experience over doctrinal orthodoxy, and the veneration of Sufi saints, all led to accusations of heresy and idolatry. Yet the Sufi tradition persisted, its teachings passed down through generations, its practices kept alive in secret gatherings and remote monasteries. In the indigenous cultures of the Americas, the shamanic rituals and practices were suppressed by the European colonizers, who viewed them as pagan and devilish. The use of entheogenic substances, the shamanic journeying to the upper world, the veneration of spirits and deities, all were subjected to violent repression. Yet, these traditions survived, hidden away in the remote corners of the continent, preserved by the elders, and passed down to the new generations. The suppression and secrecy surrounding these mystical traditions did not diminish their potency. On the contrary, it added a layer of mystery and allure, a sense of forbidden knowledge that only the initiated could access. The path to ascension became a hidden treasure, a secret art to be discovered and mastered. The rediscovery of these suppressed traditions by scholars and seekers in the modern era has led to a revival of interest in the art of ascension. The teachings of the Christian mystics, the practices of the Sufis, the rituals of the shamans are now available to anyone willing to embark on the journey. The celestial realms, once accessible only to the initiated, are now within reach of all who seek to transcend the ordinary and touch the divine. The ancient art of ascension, suppressed for centuries, has resurfaced, its mysteries beckoning to a new generation of seekers. In our present age, these ancient teachings of ascension resonate profoundly, offering solace and guidance in a world that often seems chaotic and disconnected. The longing for spiritual transcendence, for a sense of unity with the divine, is perhaps even more relevant today in an era marked by rapid technological advancement and a growing sense of isolation. Modern seekers are turning to these ancient paths of ascension, finding in them a way to bring balance and harmony into their lives. The teachings of the Christian mystics, the practices of the Sufis, the rituals of the shamans, are not artifacts of a bygone era, but living traditions that continue to evolve and adapt to the needs of contemporary practitioners. Guided meditation, once the preserve of monastic communities and secret societies, has become a common practice, integrating the wisdom of the ancients with the knowledge of modern psychology. As a tool for calming the mind and cultivating mindfulness, it offers a pathway to inner peace and heightened awareness. The healing practices inherent in these traditions, too, have found a place in the modern world. Energy healing, based on the concept of the human energy field or aura, draws from the wisdom of the shamans and mystics. The ancient understanding of the chakras, the energy centers of the body, has been integrated into modern therapeutic practices, offering a holistic approach to health and well-being. The consciousness-expanding practices of the ancient traditions, from the Christian contemplative prayer to the Sufi whirling dervishes to the shamanic journeying, are being explored as ways to transcend the limitations of the ordinary mind and experience states of divine ecstasy. Even the use of entheogenic substances, once suppressed and demonized, is being revisited as a tool for spiritual exploration and healing. In a world that often seems fragmented and discordant, the ancient art of ascension offers a way to restore balance, to cultivate inner peace, and to experience a sense of oneness with the divine. These ancient paths, once hidden and suppressed, are now open to all seekers, offering a roadmap to the celestial realms and a guide to spiritual transcendence. Far from being relics of the past, they are vibrant, living traditions that continue to inspire and guide us on our journey towards the divine. The intriguing parallels between these ancient spiritual practices and contemporary scientific discoveries lead us further into the realm of the mysterious. Quantum physics, a field that explores the fundamental nature of reality at the smallest scales, is particularly resonant with the ancient art of ascension. The quantum theory suggests that particles can exist in multiple places at the same time, a phenomenon known as superposition. This aligns with the mystical notion of non-locality, the idea that the self can transcend the physical body and be in multiple locations simultaneously, a concept prevalent in many ascension practices. Further, the principle of entanglement in quantum physics, where two particles, no matter how far apart, can instantaneously affect each other, echoes the mystical idea of interconnectedness. The spiritual practitioners of yore believed in the intrinsic connection between all beings, a concept that is strikingly similar to this scientific principle. In the sphere of energy, modern science is slowly recognizing what ancient spiritual traditions have always asserted, that there is a subtle energy field surrounding the human body, often referred to as the aura or the biofield. Cutting-edge research in the field of bioelectromagnetics is now beginning to validate the existence of this energy field, lending scientific credence to age-old healing practices that work with our body's energy centers, or chakras. The study of consciousness, once relegated to the realms of philosophy and spirituality, is now being explored by neuroscience and cognitive science. Concepts like mindfulness and meditative states, central to ascension practices, are being rigorously investigated. Advanced neuroimaging techniques have revealed distinct changes in brain activity during these states, providing tangible evidence of their impact on our mental and physical health. Perhaps the most profound intersection of science and spirituality lies in the realm of cosmology, the study of the universe and its origins. Both science and the ancient art of ascension grapple with questions about the nature of the universe, our place within it, and the potential for other dimensions of existence. In conclusion, the ancient art of ascension is not at odds with modern science. Rather, it often seems to presage scientific discoveries. The wisdom of the ancients, encoded in mystical experiences and spiritual practices, may hold the key to some of the deepest mysteries of the universe, offering a transformative lens through which to view our world and ourselves. The celestial realms, once the exclusive domain of mystics and seers, are now being charted by astronomers and physicists, bridging the seemingly disparate worlds of science and spirit. And so, as we traverse the cosmic veil, we find ourselves standing at the precipice of enlightenment, staring into the abyss of the unknown, and yet somehow, we feel a sense of familiarity, a sense of home. This journey has illuminated the path of ascension, painting a vivid image of our divine nature and the eternal journey of the soul. The nature of existence, the fabric of reality, the essence of consciousness, these are not abstract, detached concepts, but integral parts of our being. They are the threads that weave the tapestry of our existence, binding us to the cosmos. To comprehend them is to comprehend ourselves, to understand our divine nature within this grand cosmic theater. At the core of the ancient art of ascension is the profound realization of unity, the deep-seated understanding that we are not separate entities wandering aimlessly in a cold, indifferent universe, but are, instead, intricately intertwined with the cosmos, an essential part of its grand design. This realization is a catalyst for transformation, a key that unlocks the door to higher states of consciousness and spiritual growth. The ascension process is not a journey away from our earthly existence, but rather a journey within, a deep dive into the depths of our being. It is an exploration of our inner universe, a discovery of the divine spark that resides within us, a realization of our inherent connection to the cosmos. It is this inner journey, this quest for self-discovery, that forms the crux of the ascension process. The celestial realms are not distant, unreachable domains, but dimensions of existence that are deeply woven into our reality. They are not merely the destination of the ascension process, but the very fabric of our being. And it is through the practice of ascension that we can tap into these realms, that we can access the wisdom and knowledge they hold, that we can experience the profound unity and interconnectedness that they symbolize. The ancient art of ascension is a testament to the timeless wisdom of our ancestors, a reminder of our divine nature, and a beacon guiding us on our eternal journey. It is a bridge between the physical and the spiritual, the transient and the eternal, the human and the divine. It is a path to enlightenment, a journey of self-discovery, a voyage into the depths of our being. As we walk this path, as we embark on this journey, as we voyage into the unknown, we do not travel alone. We are accompanied by the wisdom of the ancients, guided by the light of the celestial realms, and supported by the fabric of the cosmos itself. We are not separate from the universe, but are, instead, integral parts of its grand design. And it is this realization, this profound understanding of our divine nature and our eternal journey, that forms the essence of the ancient art of ascension. Thanks for listening. This has been Ancient Spiritual Knowledge. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you'd like to support the show, subscribe to the Forbidden Knowledge Network on Patreon. Subscribe now.